Have you ever reached into a tub of popcorn in the middle of a movie and thought, wait, who was the first genius to figure out these little hard yellow kernels explode into fluffy, edible clouds? And more importantly, who was brave enough to take the first bite without thinking, is this thing alive? 5000 BC, Native America. It all starts here. The native people of the Americas, especially in what's now Peru, Mexico, and New Mexico, use corn not just for eating, but for trade, ceremonies, and even jewelry. Yes, jewelry. Necklaces strung with actual popcorn. Now picture a sacred ceremony. Someone gets too close to the fire, and poof, one of the necklace beads explodes. Half the crowd laughs. The other half wonders if the Great Spirit is trying to say something. Most likely the first popcorn was a total accident. Maybe a handful of kernels rolled too close to the fire, or curious kids tossed them onto a hot rock just to see what would happen. Then, the tiny explosions, the hiss of steam, and the transformation into white puffy snacks. That moment must have been like discovering fire all over again. A perfect mix of terror and excitement. When Columbus and other Europeans landed in the Americas, they were fascinated by corn. At first, they saw popcorn as more of a native showpiece than food. Spanish reports from Mexico even describe women wearing elaborate popcorn headdresses. But soon, corn, along with potatoes and cacao, was loaded onto Spanish and Portuguese ships and sailed back to Europe. And in Europe, they mostly fed it to livestock. Popcorn would have to wait for its spotlight. Fast forward to 1885. Charles Creeders invents a steam-powered popcorn maker that could pop huge batches evenly with butter and salt. These machines hit the streets, fairs, and circuses of America. And suddenly, popcorn was everywhere. It was no longer just food. It was an event. Here's the twist. Movie theaters in the 1920s and early 1930s didn't want popcorn. It was cheap, messy, and beneath the class of cinema. But then the Great Depression hit. People wanted affordable entertainment, and a movie plus popcorn was the perfect combo. From that point on, you couldn't separate popcorn from the movie experience. It was a match made in Hollywood. During the war, sugar was rationed and candy was scarce. Popcorn, however, was cheap and plentiful. Consumption tripled. It went from being a weekend treat to a household staple. War hero status achieved. After the war, popcorn traveled the world alongside American cinema and big food brands. In the UK and France, it was a novelty, something very American. Japan gave it soy sauce and matcha flavors. India cranked up the spice with chili and curry. And in the Middle East, caramel-coated popcorn with pistachios, because of course we have to make it fancy. The 1950s brought ready-to-eat packaged popcorn. No machine, no circus, just grab it off the shelf. Then came Jiffy Pop with those magical foil pans you shook over the stove. And in the 1980s, the microwave changed everything. 3 minutes, and you had a bowl of popcorn without even leaving the couch. Today, popcorn comes in flavors no one in 5000 BC could have imagined. Sweet caramel, rich chocolate, spicy jalapeno cheddar, dill pickle, even pizza-flavored popcorn. Every country puts its own spin on it, making popcorn a truly global snack canvas. Popcorn's journey started in the fires of Native America. Sailed on colonial ships, popped in streetcars, survived world wars, conquered cinemas, and now lives on in endless flavors on store shelves. And every time a kernel pops, it's like a little voice from history whispering, I've been here long before Hollywood, and I'm still delicious.
If you're curious to know where the first ones came from, subscribe to our channel.